So WWDC is almost here. Apple is preparing for one of its most significant software updates in years. So from an unexpected iOS name change to a fully UI redesign, here's everything confirmed so far and few surprises that might still be under wraps. Alright, so let's start with what it used to be iOS 19 or what it could be called iOS 26. So according to some reports, Apple is planning to align all of its operating system naming convention across the board with the calendar year. So instead of iOS 19, it's going to be iOS 26. And same thing with other softwares too, such as visionOS 3 will become visionOS 26. And the idea behind this is pretty simple, just to keep more consistency and clarity across the whole Apple ecosystem. And in my opinion, it's actually a really smart move, especially as the platform lineup expands and more products get added to it. But it also raises the question, will Apple apply the same logic to iPhone naming too? For now, that's still unclear. But the bigger shift though is in the design language, and according to multiple reports, iOS 26 will bring like a visionOS inspired interface which has a much more semi-translucent glass-like texture and much more softer look. And you might have already seen some hints of it in like some apps such as Apple TV, where the solid backgrounds are being replaced with the blur layer design. And not just that, even the app icons are expected to shift from like a rounded rectangle to a fully circular shapes. And this new UI is not just going to feature in iOS, but it will also extend across iPadOS, tvOS, visionOS, and watchOS, bringing the whole entire Apple ecosystem under a more unified visual identity. And it's not just about the visuals. These changes are setting the stage for much more powerful updates, especially in world of like entertainment and living room tech. And speaking of living room tech, tvOS is also getting more attention this year. So beyond just the visual refresh, you could also expect a lot of Apple Intelligence features that will make Siri much more smarter, and it will take all the commands way beyond the basics. However, these capabilities will likely require upgraded hardware too, and the current Apple TV 4K runs on the A15 Bionic chip, which is not really fully compatible with Apple Intelligence yet. So to run this new tvOS operating system, sources suggest that new Apple TV is also coming later this year, potentially with much more powerful chip and interestingly a built-in FaceTime camera, which is kind of like, designed for group calls and home conferencing experience. And while tvOS is evolving how we relax, another platform is leveling up on how we work, and that's iPadOS. And so far, iPadOS just felt like a second thought for Apple. But this year, you could actually expect to take a leap forward, because Apple is working on bringing a Mac-like productivity features to the iPad, including improved window management, a revamped control center, and just the overall interface designed to better support multitasking. And while it may not fully replace your Mac, but it positions the iPad as much more like a capable secondary device, or for some workflows, a primary one too. And not just that, you could also expect AI-driven battery management feature as well, which adapts like a power usage based on how you use your device, which helps to extend the battery life of your iPad intelligently. And speaking of Apple Intelligence, it's going way beyond just the iPad operating system, because the company's take on generative AI is expected to expand across iOS, iPadOS, watchOS, and visionOS too. And as you and I already know, despite some development delays, Apple is still expected to push forward with even more announcements regarding Apple Intelligence. But the most personal and maybe most surprising AI feature might not be in your apps, but in your health. Now let me explain that. One of the most intriguing leaks is Project Mulberry, which is essentially Apple's internal name for a new AI health assistant built into the health app itself. And before you say anything, it's not meant to replace your physician by any means, but rather provide much more personalized workout suggestions, like a daily insights and health trends based on your own data. So you could think of it as like an intelligent health companion. And given Apple's strong track record with all the health features like heart monitoring on Apple Watch and hearing aid on like AirPods Pro 2, this direction might actually make much more sense. But do not expect that to launch like on day one. It could roll out in like a beta 4 later this year. But with all these software changes in the spotlight, Hardware is taking backseat this time, but it's not disappearing entirely. As for the hardware, don't expect much at this event, but we still might see an updated AirTag 2 with better precision tracking and a new seasonal watch bands, but that's about it. Because Apple is clearly holding its major hardware announcements like iPhone 17 Air, AirPods Pro 3 for the September event. But it's still shaping up to a pivotal moment for Apple's software ecosystem and deeper integration across platforms. It's kind of like laying the groundwork for what's coming next. And if you want to stay updated on everything Apple is doing this year, from WWDC to iPhone 17 lineup, consider subscribing because I'll be covering everything. And if you enjoyed this video, definitely check out these other videos that I think you'll also enjoy, and I'll see you in the next one.